Judge, and this is the ticket trials calendar call. I want to start out by saying that here in the Spalding County State Court, we believe that each of you, as you interact with this court, deserve the respect and dignity that you wish for someone you care about. We will extend that to each and every one of you as we interact with you all here today. Hey, don't talk during court. So our goal is to resolve your case in a timely manner, and I cannot do that if y'all are having sidebar conversations, and frankly, I won't have any patience with it. All right, I do have one person virtual. That name is familiar, so I'm going to go with it. That's okay. Go ahead and get a pen and a piece of paper. It's LaTanya Bryant, and wait for me to call your name and come back to you. This is not on the calendar. We'll come back to you. All right, cell phones. So everybody's got pet peeves in life. People driving slow in the left lane, that kind of thing. I'm going to tell you on mine. It's phones ringing in the courtroom. So everybody right now, take out your phones. Push that power button for 2.5 seconds and shut your phone off. If your phone rings after this moment, it means you're ignoring me, and it means that you want me to have a contempt hearing. Please don't ignore me. Please don't volunteer for contempt hearing. Just turn your phone off and let us do our job. All right, lots of movement out there. Okay, today is what's called your calendar call. I'm going to go over your rights with you, and I'm going to tell you what your options are, and then you or your attorney is going to tell me what to do with your case. You may have a trial. There are two types of trials. There's a jury trial where 6 jurors issue a decision on your case from that box over there. And then there's a bench trial where I issue the decision without the verdict, without a jury. You can have a conference with the solicitor's office if you're representing yourself. And then you can ask me about an attorney if you don't have one, and we can have that discussion. The charges in this courtroom are all misdemeanors. The average misdemeanor carries a maximum punishment, 12 months to serve in the Spalding County Jail, and or a $1,000 fine. There's a few minor traffic charges like seat belts that have a lower maximum fine. And then there are a few high and aggravated misdemeanors that have a higher maximum fine of up to $5,000. Now, each of you here have the right to a speedy and public jury trial, where 6 citizens of Spalding County decide guilt or innocence on each of your charges. You can also choose a bench trial. Again, that's where I make the decision of guilt or innocence without a jury present. You have the right to also waive your right to a trial and close your case with a plea if you choose. I have no preference. You must knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently choose for yourself. Now, each of you here have the right to be presumed innocent, to force the state to prove you guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, to cross-examine the state's witnesses, to subpoena your own witnesses and evidence to court. You have the right to testify or not testify. You have the right not to incriminate yourself. And if you choose to remain silent, your silence cannot be held against you. You still have the right to have an attorney. You may hire your own attorney if you so choose. However, if you cannot afford an attorney, then you should have applied on your arraignment date with the Public Defender's Office. Now, I warned you in the courtroom that if you wanted the Public Defender's Office to represent you, you needed to take action ASAP, or you would very likely hear me say that you've waived the right to apply. Now, an attorney would help you understand our criminal justice system, would explain what your charges are and what the defenses are to those charges, file motions on your behalf, engage in plea negotiations, subpoena witnesses and evidence for your defense, conduct a trial on your behalf and make objections, protect your record and appeal a conviction, and otherwise work to protect you. All right, it is my job to explain first offender and conditional discharge. These each allow you to enter a guilty plea without being convicted, but you only get one of each for your entire life. First offender is for everything but traffic-related charges, so no DUIs, and conditional discharges for drug-related offenses only. All right, nolo contendere in traffic charges. Nolo, we call this a nolo plea for short. It's where you enter a guilty plea without admitting guilt, and it is available on most traffic charges. A nolo, you get one nolo every 5 years, so that's measured from the incident date to the incident date, ticket date to ticket date. A nolo will usually prevent points. It'll usually save your license, but it won't help you much if you're under 21. Now, if you're here today and you are not a U.S. citizen, you need to know that any conviction will very likely have a negative impact on your immigration status. All right, habeas corpus. It is my job to explain this weird old law called habeas corpus. We call it habeas for short. It does all kinds of things in all kinds of situations. But for our purposes here today, here's how it works. If you're convicted of these charges, you may sue Spalding County civilly over in Superior Court to challenge your conviction. What I really need you to understand is for those of you with traffic charges, you have a 6-month window to use those rights before they expire. If you have a non-traffic charge, you have 12 months to use those rights. All right, you make conference today with the solicitor's office, and if you're representing yourself, you'll announce conference, and you'll remain here in the courtroom until they call your name to meet with them. Now, the solicitor's office, that's this group over here to your left, they represent the state of Georgia. They're not your attorney. If you reach an agreement, you can resolve your case today. If you do not reach an agreement, then you must return to this courtroom for me to personally give you your next set of instructions, which will include signing your verdict form. All right. If you have a payable ticket and you want to close it without a trial, you have three options. First of all, you can, if you have the fine amount in full, you may pay it and close your case. The second option is to participate in what we call our 30 for 30 program, which is a plea that lets you close it before probation starts. And then the third option is a probation plea where you're placed on probation that will terminate upon completion. So that middle option, a little bit more information about that. Again, we call that our 30 for 30 program, and it's for defendants who do have payable tickets, but you don't have the fine amount and you want to close your case without a trial. If that is you, then what you can do is have a conference. The solicitor's office will make a recommendation, and what they'll do is they'll recommend that the start of your probation be delayed for 30 days after the plea to give you a chance to pay the ticket off without having to go on probation. In return, you agree to pay a $30 participation fee or a program fee, and so you pay the fine plus $30, close your case. If you are successful, then your case will close with no probation. If you're not successful, then your probation simply begins after 30 days and you'll need to complete those obligations. All right, if you receive probation, you need to know that you'll be supervised by the Spalding County Sentence Enforcement. There'll be a one-time $25 intake fee per case, and 100% of all fines can be worked off with community service work at a rate of $10 per hour. Additionally, there's a $50 per month supervision fee each month until you complete your probation. This is a mandatory fee, but it can be waived after a separate hearing before me. All right, this is a 2-week trial calendar. So all the trials are on the same calendar here, and this is week 1, and this is your calendar call. Now, after today, we're going to skip a week where everybody goes and gets ready for trial. And then starting in week 2, which will begin October 2nd, all the jury trials and bench trials will begin at 9 a.m. sharp, and we'll work our way through the remaining cases until we complete the calendar. You will appear each and every day until your case is resolved. We will run 2 or 3 courtrooms in week 2, and we will reach your case for trial. All right, you want to help your friends and family because bench warrants will be issued for the defendants who fail to appear in court. If you know a defendant who is absent today, call them, tell them to get down here ASAP. You'll very likely save them a great deal of future trouble. All right, pretrial motions, speedy trial demands, and all that. You must let me know if I need to factor in any of these types of motions, and failure to give me this information will result in waiver, and issuance of a bench warrant also results in waiver. All pretrial matters must be heard on the first scheduled calendar or they are waived, unless I specifically preserve them on the record in open court. All right, so I've gone with all kinds of titles for this slide, but this is important, seemed to be the most appropriate title I could think of. So here we go. If you announce when you hear your name called that you want a jury trial or bench trial, you need to know that what you're communicating to me is that you do not want a conference. You do not want an attorney. You do not want a continuance. You do not want a negotiated plea. You do not have any motions, and you don't want to do anything other than try your case. If that is you, then that's fine, but I'll try your case. If that is you, then that's fine, but otherwise just know that I have zero intentions of exploring those options when I have a jury outside of those doors ready to try your case. That's the whole purpose of calendar call, is to explore these options. All right, so I'm about to call the calendar. When you hear your name called, stand up for me if you're able. If you're not, just raise your hand high and get my attention. If you have an attorney, which I think 1 or 2 of you do, let your attorney announce for you. If you do not have an attorney, then you're going to stand up and announce as follows. So you can either say jury trial, nice and loud, or bench trial, or conference, or attorney, and then obviously if you have any motions. All right, everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's jump in.
Yes,
somebody's
on page 1, bottom of page 2, top of page 3, Corey Mall. He's already got the double page, Jim Ross. What name is it? Right one, 920? Yeah, Corey Malden.
What's that? M-A-U-L-D-I-N?
Bottom of page 2. I see it. He's not on the counter.
He's on the jail now.
Oh, okay. You moved him to the jail county?
He's everyone.
It's not how it works.
All right. Otherwise, it looks like it lines up. So-
Anyway, she already moved to the jail county, so it's court involved.
Okay.
We have, she's always.
I mean,
I'm the luckiest judge in Georgia, y'all. No two ways about it. All right, well then let's jump in. Sharif Ahmed.
Judge, I spoke with Mr. Cowan yesterday. He's in a trial in Floyd County, has a conflict letter in. He's gonna bring him and his client will be here on the 2nd to resolve this case.
Okay. Sounds great. Is Mr. Ahmed here? Okay, good. All right, Kurt Bland. Bland?
I'm after this morning, yes, paid.
Okay.
All right, that's for bond forfeiture debate one.
All right, Mr. Rosingo already came in. Oh, no, I skipped one. Coraline Boykin. Good morning.
Morning.
What would you like to do with your case? Conference. Thank you, Ms. Boykin. All right, Michaela Brown was Mr. Mozingo. He's already tendered a plea in abstention. I believe it's closed. Everything's good. Anthony Cameron. Conference. All right, thank you. David Colon.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'd like to request a conference.
All right, thank you. Candace Head.
Conference.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Wood came in and said that he worked out an agreement with you all for his client to pay the fine. He asked if I wanted him to stick around. I said I didn't think you needed him.
No, so I didn't see any reason in that.
Okay.
I've already given Erica the ticket to be amended, and he'll get it paid by the 2nd.
Okay, and that's what I told him. I said, look, if for some reason it doesn't get paid, you and your client just need to return on October 2nd at 9 a.m. So that way there's a backstop. Alyssa Jones.
Judge, we had several write-ins on this page.
Yeah.
Before we jump to the next one.
Yeah, I heard y'all trying to sort it out before, so let me know what you need.
Those are Ernest Brooks.
Here.
Okay. Give me just a second. Let me pull up my account.
That was 23 TK 2576.
23 TK, what?
2576.
Brooks.
Is that Mr. Brooks here?
Yes, he's waving at me.
Actually, I'm his son.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh.
thinking. He's got some medical issues, Judge. I told him to come in to address that this morning.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the issue is, but
All right, we'll circle back to that. So. Okay. And who else?
Leadle Browner.
How to say that? 23 TK 2697.
Browner?
No.
She's here, Judge.
All right, give me just a second. I'm trying to get caught up.
Yes.
All right, what's the Browner case number?
23 TK 2697.
Was there an answer? You're here, okay. What would you like to do with your case? Conference.
Yeah, and the last one is your virtual one, Judge.
Brian?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll circle back to that. Yeah. All right, so let's jump back in to the calendar proper. Alyssa Jones. Melissa Jones.
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant. That's the second bench warrant in the case.
Okay. Steve Dexter Lyons. Comments, thank you. Haley McGowan. McGowan. No.
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
Good. I'll set cash bond. Austin Mills. Mills.
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
Granted. Elmira Parks.
Oh, your conference.
Conference, thank you. Ruben Sarmiento.
Conference, Your Honor.
And how do you say your last name?
Sarmiento.
Sarmiento. All right, thank you. I'm name and reporting. All right, Nakira Smith.
Judge, she's outside in the hallway with the child,
Okay.
and she's requesting a conference.
All right, Mr. Dutton, looks like you come in. Devin Tanner.
Yes, Your Honor, we just need a conference. He's waived his right of representing out of state.
Okay, thank you. Etta Thompson.
It was a write-in on that page
Oh,
too.
God, that is hated.
Okay, I'm gonna put you down for conference. So Thompson's a conference. Let's back up to the right end. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I just kind of came in on us last minute. Tangela Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Good
She's
morning.
What'd you say now?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Conference.
Thank you.
And that's 23 TK 2760.
That's Tangela, Tangela.
Correct.
All right. Gina Williams. Williams? No?
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
All right, over to you, Mr. Malloy. Jonathan Willis Woods.
He's homeless, Judge. We don't.
We have no phone number for you, no address.
All right, well,
That's for bond forfeiture and bench warrant.
I'll grant that. As soon as we find him, we'll
Yes, sir.
push him in. And then y'all got the other one, the thing you needed amended.
Oh, yes.
That's all y'all need
Yeah,
from me, right?
that's it. That's it. We'll see you this afternoon, Your Honor.
Have a great morning.
Thank you.
And there's one other write-in, Judge, before we finish the calendar. It'd be Muhammad Tullo, Tullo. That's 23 TK 0543. That's Keith Wood's case, and it's been paid.
Your Honor, was that Gina Wilson?
Yes, Gina Nicole Wilson. No, Williams, excuse me, Williams. Williams. Okay. Are there any witnesses that were subpoenaed to be here today? Any witnesses? Okay. Anyone whose name was not called, can you stand up for me? There's always one or two. What, except when there is? Okay. I'll take it. All right, well then, Mr. Shepherd, if you want to make announcements.
Good morning, all. I'm Patrick Shepard. I'm the solicitor. That means I'm the prosecutor. I'll be the one doing the conferences this morning. There's one or two of you, I think, that are represented by an attorney. If you're represented by an attorney, you may just be the one that's represented by Mr. Dutton. If that's you, follow Mr. Dutton's instructions for the rest of the morning. Those of you who are not represented by an attorney who have asked for a conference, what's going to happen is in a few minutes, Ms. Sherry Middleton there with a blue shirt on, or Ms. Denise Fletcher over there with a black and white striped shirt on, we'll start calling names. We do about 4 or 5 at a time, so when your name is called, if you'll follow one of those ladies out the double doors over here to my right, your left, there's a hallway, follow them in the hallway to a little waiting area outside of my office. Have a seat in one of those chairs, and I'll call you back one at a time for your conference. When you're done with your conference, you're going to come back down the same hallway through the same double doors. Quietly have a seat here in the courtroom to either enter your plea or get instructions for your trial date. When you come back into the courtroom, make sure that you do use those double doors. Do not use that single door over there. If you come through there, you will disrupt court and make the judge unhappy. Not a good way to start your morning. Obviously, there's a lot more of y'all than there are me, but I move pretty quick. I know what I'm doing. I'll have everybody out here at a reasonable time today. Thanks.
Okay. I'm gonna try to talk to Ms. Bryant, see if I can get some information out of her. All right, Ms. Bryant, I sent you an unmute request. If you'll approve that, please. Bryant?
Yes.
There we go. You there?
Yes.
Okay. May I have a phone number, please, in case we need to reach you?
919-750-6322.
All right, you gave me 919-750-6322. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. What would you like to do with your case?
Conference.
Conference. Okay. So, Ms. Bryant, what's going to happen is that I'm actually going to release you from this system, but not from court. So you're just going to sit tight, wait for your phone to ring. It'll do so in about 30, 45 minutes, something like that. Solicitor's office will have the conference with you, and then they'll give you your next set of instructions.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Any questions I can answer for you before you remove yourself from the system?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. You can disconnect from the call and then disconnect from this, and then just wait for your phone to ring.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Bryant.
Okay.
Kathy, did you catch all the case numbers and everything?
Yes, I think I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I got it.
Yeah, I got them written down.
I only missed one.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
And, Judge, Mr. Brooks, Ernest Brooks. Yeah, I believe you're his son, is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those names.
Yeah, he's got some, I'm not sure exactly what the health issues are, but I remember he came to my office earlier this week. He's indicated Mr. Brooks just paid his ticket, so I'll put a fine on, make it payable,
Okay.
and then we'll just have it, he's gonna have to get it paid by October the 2nd. Okay,
I pay it today.
okay, today, okay.
All right, well then, what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna pass you off to Ms. Jordan and the bailiffs. They're gonna go ahead and follow, Mr. Shepherd's gonna make it payable. They gotta do the actual movement in the system. And then one of the bailiffs will walk you down to the clerk's office. Does that work? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna hand you off to the bailiffs. So,
I'll bring it right back. Yeah, if you just have a seat right here, I'll get it. I'll be right back.
all right, this next stage goes a whole lot quicker if I get off the bench and get out of the way. So here's what we're gonna do. Your instructions are very simple. You ready? Step to the restroom, get back to your seats. And here's the deal. Statistically, one of you is going to volunteer to go to jail. And I don't want it to be any different, but statistically speaking, one of you is going to disappear this morning. I don't know where people go, but the instructions are very simple. Step to the restroom, get back to your seats. But every day, one person disappears. And so yesterday, Brandy Mangum stepped to the restroom and never came back. I don't know what she went. I don't know where she is, but I have a warrant out for her arrest. The sheriff's going to pick her up. They're going to take her to jail. And I wish she had just gone back to her seats. So I know I'm sounding crazy, but the fact that I have to have a system for this tells you it is a major issue. So here's your instructions. Step to the restroom, get back to your seats. They can't call your name if you're not here. I'm gonna come back on the bench at 10:15. 10:15 is enough time for you?
Yes.
So, okay. Then I'm gonna come on the bench at 10:15, take whatever pleas are ready and address whatever needs to be addressed. But again, I'm sorry, but one of you are statistically going to go to jail, and I hope that none of you will statistically go to jail, but one of you is going to volunteer to go to jail, and I'm sad for that. So, okay, that's it. Step to the restroom, get back to your seats, and wait for your name.
Okay, can I please
All right, let's come to order. Are you Brandy Mangum?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Mangum, what happened and why you were in handcuffs a moment ago is that, so you came in yesterday, you had your conference, you signed your paperwork, and then you disappeared. When folks wonder, and I issued a warrant for you because we didn't know where you were. And so luckily, I guess someone notified you.
Yes.
See, that's why I love Spalding County. So, because I didn't want you in jail, I wanted you to come back and engage. And so we put you in handcuffs and put you in jury box because that's my standard procedure. Anyone who comes in late gets put in handcuffs and put in the jury box. But I knew as soon as I came out, I would address your case because I'm certain you didn't, intentionally run away. But at the same time, you weren't here, and so I needed you to be engaged. So good job in getting your case back on track. Fair enough?
Yes, thank
All
you.
right. I have all your paperwork up here. Are you ready to enter your plea?
Yes,
All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Brandy Mangum.
Ms. Mangum, you're here on 22 TK 4592. And according to my calendar from yesterday, you were on time for court today. Yesterday.
Yes,
And of course, you were on time for court yesterday, and you heard all the rights that are read out to the courtroom.
yes,
And you understood those rights?
yes, sir.
Any questions I can answer for you about those rights?
No, sir.
Now, yesterday, you passed up this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights I read out yesterday morning?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes, sir.
page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And I can see where you mistakenly initialed both that you are and are not a citizen of the United States. Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
It's okay, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so I'm just gonna mark out that I'm gonna mark out that you're not and leave it that you are, and I'll initial it.
Okay, thank you.
So, that's okay, like I said, that happens. All right, you understand you have the right to have an attorney represent you,
Yes, sir.
and you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
That by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Mangum, you are charged with one count of speeding, 51 and a 25, and that you did so here in Spalding County on October 13th of 2022. Did you do that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. It's a NOLO. All right. Have you used a NOLO on a moving violation in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
And are you 21 years of age or older?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you want me to use your NOLO for that event that I just read out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. All right, so I'm going to find that your request for a NOLO is proper and I'm going to grant it. I'm going to find that you are knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I'll review the recommendation and I will follow it. Any questions about anything, Ms. Mangum, before I sentence?
No, sir.
All right, so Ms. Mangum, you're on page 4 of yesterday's calendar. I just realized I forgot to say that out loud. The sentence of the court is as follows. On 22 TK 4592 from October 13th of 2022, count 1 speeding, 51 and a 25, I'm going to grant you NOLO. It's 12 months probation and a fine of $300. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days. And what that will allow you to do is, if you will pay your fine off in full, plus a $30 program fee for participating in our 30 for 30 program, then your case will close with no probation conditions.
Yes.
If you're unable to pay the fine plus the $30 within 30 days, your probation will just automatically start 31 days from now, at which point you'll still be able to close your case once you've completed your terms, but you will also need to show a valid license to probation, no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and that's the sentence of the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Do you remember me talking about habeas yesterday morning? It's weird. It's that weird old law where you sue Spalding County civilly and go to Superior Court. It's right there on the back of your rights.
Okay.
So just remember you have 6 months on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, can I answer any questions for you before you and I part ways and you go meet with probation?
No, sir.
All right, good luck. Thank you for coming in. Like I said, I did not want to have to take you to the jail, and I just thought if somebody could get you, we could get you here and get your case resolved.
Well, I thank you for that. Sorry for the misunderstanding.
That's all right. We're all even. So, all right, Miss Margaret's going to walk you out.
Okay.
Back that way. Through the, oh, your keys.
Oh, I'll get it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that was your stuff, I'm sorry.
Okay, Mr. Malloy, your client unexpectedly walked in, so
Deputy Piper, I think is.
Piper's got him. He went out looking for him,
Okay,
because I think they reset him and then miscommunication.
that's all right. I didn't.
So, yeah, Piper went to get him. Piper's bringing you back.
Okay. All right, well then, let's do some pleas while we're waiting. But Mr. Malloy, the moment you need anything from me on that, since I know you're trying to get out of here, I will stop everything I'm doing and help.
Yes, sir.
All right, so, let's walk through some pleas here, y'all. Ms. Boykin, will you come forward to the podium, please? All right, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Coraline Boykin.
All right, Ms. Boykin, you may not know this, and you may not even care about this, but I thought I would tell you that when I do a plea and I have to go over these rights with everybody, there's actually a name for those rights, and they are called the Boykin rights. And because everything we do in the legal system gets named after the person who created the need for it. So Miranda rights was honestly a guy in Arizona named Miranda. But now it's a central part of it, and I thought you should know that. The name Boykin has a lot of meaning to those of us in the legal community because these, especially these key rights here in paragraph 4 that you initialed, those are officially your Boykin rights. So anyway, just like you know that. So.
That don't mean you can leave yet.
So anyway, you're ahead of the game. So, and like I said, I didn't know if you cared about that, but I thought it was neat from my perspective.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Boykin rights. So, all right. So, Ms. Boykin, you were on time for court today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Any questions I can answer for you about those rights?
No, sir.
Ms. Boykin, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. There it is. That I'm holding up. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself.
Yes.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that you have the right to a jury trial,
Yes, sir.
and that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you? How old are you, ma'am?
25.
Okay. Did you here in Spalding County, back on May 25th of 2023, operate your motor vehicle with an expired tag?
Yes.
All right. Did you also operate your motor vehicle while holding a phone and not using a hands-free device?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna find with your admission of guilt as to count 1 and count 2 that there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm gonna find that you are knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering your plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it. Do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Ms. Boykin, are you ready for me to sentence?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Coraline Boykin on 23 TK 2484 from May 25th of 2023. Count 1, expired tag. I'm going to find you guilty. It's 12 months probation. 155 is your fine. Count 2, hands-free device. Guilty. 12 months. $100 is your fine. So it's 255. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days. And in return for participating in our 30 for 30 program, you're going to pay a $30 program fee. So it's $255 plus $30. We'll close your case with no probation conditions within the next 30 days. If you're unable to pay it the next 30 days, no problem. Then your probation will officially start. Then your obligations will be that you'll need to show a valid license to probation, no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products, Fourth Amendment waiver and testing for those, $50 per month supervision fee, a $25 intake fee, and your case will still close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Do you remember me talking about habeas earlier?
Yes, sir.
That's that weird old law where you sue Spalding County and you have 6 months on it. Do you have any questions for me about anything before you and I part ways?
No, sir.
All right, and we can go off record. I was just gonna tell you, I see that you're or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Anthony Cameron.
All right, Mr. Cameron, you're here on 23 TK 2069, and according to my calendar and my memory, you were on time for court. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint in its entirety that I put up on the wall?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
Any questions I can answer for you about those rights?
No.
Mr. Cameron, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes.
And do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Are there any questions I can answer for you about anything on this document?
No.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
You understand that you have the right to a jury trial,
Yes.
and that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Cameron, you are, okay, so how old are you?
35.
Okay. All right, so this will not cause a suspension. So, in and of itself, so did you operate your motor vehicle at a speed of 104 miles an hour at 55 mile an hour zone?
Yes.
Okay. Whew, that is really fast. Where was this? Was it on a 4-lane?
2-lane.
Where was it?
North Expressway. I think that's what it's called.
Well, that would be a 4-lane altogether, right?
Yeah.
It was 2 lanes going together in
Yeah.
one direction? Okay, that's 4 lanes. Okay. So that doesn't make it okay, but makes it better. Okay, I'm gonna find with your admission of guilt, there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation that you've negotiated with the solicitor's office. I do believe it has enough conditions in here, and I will follow it. You have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
Yes, I got one question.
Okay.
I came in originally in August.
I have a very vague memory that this is our second conversation, but that's all I have. So
You
you're
told
gonna
me
need
to
to
come
fill
back and talk with them because I didn't get a chance to talk to them that day. And I was wondering if I could do the no-low plea because his recommendation was no, but he said I still could talk to you and see what you said because that's what I told him to come back and talk to them.
No, it's not an unreasonable request. So it's kind of my own personal, I guess, boundaries, for lack of a better term. And because the fact of the matter is that the law does allow it. but it's in my discretion. And frankly, once you get to triple digits, I have a really difficult time granting a no-load. And in fact, frankly, once you get to 30 miles an hour or more, I start having a really difficult time with it. And so unless it's part of the state's recommendation at your speed, I'm not willing to give it. And so I'm so sorry, but you're welcome to finish the plea. I will follow it exactly the way the terms have been negotiated, which I don't mind telling you, I think are very generous. But if you don't want to take the plea, you certainly don't have to.
No, we good.
But it's not an unreasonable request. Hear me say that. It's not an unreasonable request. It's just that the answer is no.
Okay.
So, any other questions? Okay. Well, I just want to make certain you heard me say that was a reasonable request, and if you have more like that, you should ask them. Even though my answer was no, that's okay. All right. You want me to keep moving forward?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anthony Cameron, on 23 TK 2069 from May 3rd of 2023, as to speeding 104 and 55. I am found you guilty. It's 12 months probation. 1410 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work, and there'll be a $50 per month supervision fee. There'll be a $25 intake fee. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products. 20 hours of community service work. Defensive driving must be completed within 60 days. And the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court, your case will close. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 12 months from today. You were not arrested?
No, sir.
Wow, good job. Usually when you get that speed, you just go to jail. So like, just thought you should know, like you got two benefits that I want you to keep first and foremost at 104, because 104 obviously scares me as the judge. Number one, usually at 104 you go straight to jail, and your car gets towed. So you didn't go to jail. Somehow the officer let you sign a ticket on the side of the road and keep driving. And the second thing you get from me is I normally don't allow 104s to terminate upon completion. Normally there's a set amount of time I want to keep an eye on you to make certain that you're not driving. So you don't have the context of that, so I thought I would just share that with you, that you've got two benefits out here that I want you to just be aware of. So, okay, can I answer any other questions for you?
No, sir.
All right, slow down. Obviously, you're going to be all right, okay? All right, Miss Yarborough's going to walk you out those double doors. Good luck to you. Please, no, don't raise your right hand. Just, I'm gonna place you under oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, state your full name for me.
Nikia Smith.
All right, and your baby is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
And so, Ms. Smith, you're here on 23 TK 2253, and you're here, you had to wait out in the hallway, because of that beautiful baby. But you did fill out this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver, is that correct?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2? And
Yes.
this your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Are there any questions, no matter how minor, that I can answer for you about anything on this document?
No.
All right, if you think of any, do you promise to ask me?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Smith, you have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
And you have the right to a jury trial, and by entering this plea, there will be no trial. In this case, it will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right, now, Ms. Smith, you are charged with one count of speeding, 80 and a 55. You're wanting to do a NOLO on that, is that correct?
Yes.
And have you used a NOLO on a moving violation in the last 5 years?
No.
And are you 21 years of age or older?
Yes.
And you want me to accept your NOLO for driving that occurred on May 20th, 2023 here in Spalding County and resulted in this speeding, 80 and 55?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to find that your request for a NOLO is proper and I'm going to grant it. I'm going to find that you are knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering this plea. I've reviewed the recommendation that you've negotiated, and I'm going to follow it exactly the way you've negotiated.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me about anything before I send this?
As far as, I think the price.
It's
That'd be okay.
$590,
Okay.
and then you're participating in our 30 for 30 program, so it'll be $620 will close your case.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
You ready? All right. Ms. Smith, on 23 TK 2253 from May 20th of 2023, count 1 speeding, 80 and a 55, I'm going to grant your NOLO. It's 12 months of probation, $590 is your fine. Now, I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days, and you're going to pay a $30 program fee for participating in our 30 for 30 program. If you were able to pay your case off with $30 plus your fine in the next 30 days, your case will close with no probation. 31 days from now, your probation will automatically start, at which point you'll still be able to close your case, but your obligations will be that you'll need to show a valid license to probation, no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products, and you'll be tested for those. $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and your case will still close the moment you satisfy your obligations to the court. I'll also tell you that you have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. And if you want to do your, oh, you don't have any community service work. Okay, we're off record. That's close. Anything else?
No.
All right. I was going to make a joke that if you wanted to bring your baby back and let Miss Margaret hold your baby for community service work, so, because you just made Miss Margaret's day. So, this is what I love about state court that you can't do in Superior Court. This is why would I ever want to go upstairs?
And I'm so glad that you don't. I'll put that on.
No interest in
You gotta give the baby back.
What's wrong?
Have the next case as Dexter Lyons. Still step forward, please. All right, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Dexter Lyons.
All right, Mr. Lyons, you're here on 23 TK 2436. And Mr. Lyons, according to my calendar, you are on time for court. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Any questions I can answer for you about any of those rights?
No, sir.
Mr. Lyons, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes, sir.
Are those your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes, sir.
page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Are there any questions I can answer for you about anything on this document?
No, sir.
Mr. Lyons, you have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that you have the right to a jury trial,
Yes, sir.
and that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
I'm missing, no, I'm not missing. Okay. All right, any other questions about anything on this document before I pivot to the facts of your case?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Lyons, you want to do this is gonna cause a suspension of your license. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's acceptable to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's had a couple of those over the last couple of years. I did tell him since I'm here also. I do not think he would be able to get a driver's license back within the term of this probation.
Okay.
So if the court's willing to waive that provision.
I've just done that, thank you for that. That'll save Director Matthews some work too, so. Okay, and that's easier on you than on all of us.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Lyons, did you, here in Spalding County on May 26th of 2023, operate your motor vehicle while your license to operate motor vehicles had been suspended by the Georgia Department of Driver Services?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna find with your admission of guilt, there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I'll review the recommendation, I'm gonna follow it exactly the way you've negotiated it. Any questions that I can answer for you about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Dexter Lyons, 23 TK 2436, from May 26th, 2023. Count 1, suspended license. I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, $590 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work. There will be I've removed the condition that you get your license back, but you will be tested for illegal drugs, alcohol, and hemp products. So you're not allowed to have any of those. $50 per month supervision fee. There'll be a $25 intake fee. And your case will still close the moment you satisfied your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Do you remember reading about habeas on the back of the right sheet right there? Okay. And on a total side note that has nothing to do with anything, I'll tell you that you check these and the bailiffs made you go back. And the reason why is because I had one of these where I said, "Is that your check mark?" And someone said no. And I was like, okay, well, check marks clearly aren't gonna work. And so that's it. I just thought you'd have a laugh. So,
I do have one question.
Yeah, sure.
Solicitor told me that once I paid off the fine, that he would terminate my probation.
That's
Okay.
exactly what you just
Okay.
got.
All right, thank you.
You are good to go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good question, and the answer is yes. All right, Mitchell? All right, Ms. Mitchell, that boom mic is for taller people and shorter folks like us. So, all right, if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, take your hand out and state your full name for me.
Tangela Yvonne Mitchell.
All right, and Ms. Mitchell, you're one of our add-ons. It's 23 TK 2760. Ms. Mitchell, am I correct that you were on time for court this morning?
Yes, sir.
And actually, let's go for it, because I told Mr. Malloy.
Just want to let you know, Your Honor, case is handled pre-trial. He's just waiting in the hallway to see Ms. Peterson.
Thank you very much. He's got to get to the jail.
Oh, no problem.
All right, thank you, Mr. Malloy. Great. All right, back on record with Ms. Mitchell. Ms. Mitchell, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes, sir.
These are initials next to each of the lines on page 1.
Yes.
Page 2.
Yes.
Is this your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Are there any questions I can answer for you about anything on this document?
No, sir.
You have the right to represent yourself, and you're here, you have the right to have an attorney, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
I do.
and that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Mitchell, you are entering a no-low plea, is that correct?
Yes.
Have you used a no-low in the last 5 years on any moving violation?
No.
And are you 21 years of age or older?
Barely.
Okay, me too, we're in this together, we're still in this together. All right, Ms. Mitchell, as you are barely older than 21 and you've not used a no-low in the last 5 years, I will accept your no-low for driving that occurred here on June 13th of 2023 and results in this charge of speeding 89 and 55. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I've reviewed the recommendation. I'm going to follow it. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. Any questions about anything before I sentence?
No.
All right, here we go. Ms. Mitchell, on 23 TK 2760 from June 13th of 2023, speeding 89 and 55, I'm going to grant your no-low, 12 months probation, 870 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days, and you're going to participate in our 30 for 30 program. And if you pay your $870 plus $30, then your case will close within 30 days. If you're unsuccessful at that, your probation will automatically start 31 days from today, at which point you'll need to show your valid license to probation, have no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products, and be tested for those. There'll be a $50 per month supervision fee, a $25 intake fee, and your case will still close the moment you satisfied your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, any questions about anything before we part ways?
No, sir.
All right, well, thank you very much, and if you'll step out there with Ms. Yarbrough. The next case is
Scotland, England, and Wales, South Carolina.
Gotcha. Okay, Parks. All right, Parks. There are 2 cases. That's the confusion. Okay. Ms. Parks, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right.
Yes.
Take your hand down and state your full name for me.
I'm Mary Parks.
And Ms. Parks, you are here today on 2 cases, 23 TK 2047 and 23 TK 3712. According to my calendar, you are on time for court today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
Any questions I can answer for you about those rights?
No, sir.
Ms. Parks, on both of your cases, you've given me one self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2?
Yes.
Is this your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Any questions I can answer for you about anything on this document?
No, sir.
You have the right to have an attorney and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
And you have the right to a jury trial, and by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do? These cases will be closed with plea? Okay. I'm going to start with 23 TK 2047, which is the case that's officially on this calendar. And on this case, you're charged with speeding from May 5th of 2023 here in Spalding County at a speed of 48 and a 25. Did you operate your motor vehicle at that speed on that date here in Spalding County?
Yes.
All right, and then pivoting to the case that's coming up for arraignment, but that I'm moving to this calendar, which is 23 TK 3712, which charges you with speeding 49 and a 35, which is a reduced speed from 51, so 49 and a 35. Did you operate your motor vehicle at 14 over on July 30th, 2023 here in Spalding County?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to find that your 2 admissions of guilt across both of your cases, there's enough for me to take your pleas. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering both of these pleas. I've reviewed the recommendations that you've negotiated on both of your cases, and I'm going to follow the recommendation. All right, any questions before I sentence?
Speak.
Yeah, I just can't hear you.
No.
Okay, if you think of any, do you promise to ask me? Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm
All
sorry.
right, interrupt me and ask me if you think of a question, okay?
Okay.
All
Speak
right.
it.
All right, Amira Parks on 23 TK 2047 from May 5th of 2023. The sentence of the court is as follows. Speeding, 48 and a 25. Guilty, 12 months, 213 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days, and you're going to pay $30 to participate in our 30 for 30 program. If you are able to close your case by paying those amounts in full, then your case will close 31 days from now. If this case is not closed, then you will need to obtain, it will show you a valid driver's license, no alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products, be tested for those, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and your case will still close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. All right, that's your first case. All right, on your second case, which is 23 TK 3712 from July 30th of 2023, speeding 49 to 25, guilty 12 months, 195 is your fine. I'm going to delay this one also for 30 days. You'll pay an additional $30. I talked to probation. They're looking at the $30 as an intake fee, Mr. Shepherd, not a supervision fee. So just thought I'd say that out loud. It should be on each case like the intake fee. Okay, so $30 additional on that case. You can also close it. If you do not satisfy that by paying it, it will also convert to probation in 31 days, and all the same conditions apply as to the previous case. All right, you have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. All right, do you need anything from me before you and I part ways?
No, sir.
Okay, then I'm gonna pass you off to Ms. Yarbrough. She's gonna walk you out, and have you go meet with probation.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
All right, next case is, Sarmiento. Looks like he's going to enter his plea, but then go down with the bailiffs to pay instead of going to probation. Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
You'll raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Ruben Sarmiento.
All right, and Mr. Sarmiento, you're here on 23 TK 2059, and according to my calendar, you were on time for court. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom and see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
Did you, you passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2?
Yes.
Is this your signature?
Correct.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
Because you understood everything that's on it?
Correct.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
And you have the right to a jury trial, and by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Mr. Sarmiento, have you used a NOLO on a moving violation in the last 5 years?
No.
And 21 years of age or older?
Yes.
And you're asking me to accept your NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on May 3rd of 2023 and resulted in this reduced speed of 54 and a 35. Is that correct? That's what you want me to use your NOLO on?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to find that your request for a NOLO is proper, and I'm going to grant it. I'm going to find that you are knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I've reviewed the recommendation, and I will follow it. Any questions before I sentence?
No.
All right. The sentence of the court then is as follows. On 23 TK 2059 from May 3rd of 2023, your NOLO on the reduced speed of 54 to 35 is granted. The fine is $191.25. As you have those funds to pay today, I will not be placing you on probation, but will instead allow you to enter this plea and close this case. All right, you have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Any questions for me?
Is there any way I can just get like a copy saying that that won't be on my record?
What was the speed again? 59 and what?
I wrote down 54, the reduced. It's 54 and 35.
Yeah, because that will go on, it's just not gonna go on as a conviction. So it's 54 and 30, sorry, your question caught me off guard because I think there's a misunderstanding here. 14 over is the magic number to not go in your driver's history. This is going to go on your driver's history, but it's gonna go on as a reduced to 54 and a 35. So it'll only go in at 54 and a 35, but it'll also go in as a no-low, so it'll be 0 points, and it'll not be an admission of the underlying case. Does that help kind of
Okay, so I won't
clarify?
get points.
No points.
Okay.
But it will appear in your driver's history, and you need to know that it'll appear as 54 and a 35, no low, state court here. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
So do you need to think about it a little bit? I can do another plea and come back to you, or do you want to go forward?
That's fine. We'll go forward.
You're okay? All right, well then I'm gonna just close the plea back out again. Ask y'all for Mr. Taylor, they're gonna walk you down to the clerk's office and go from there. All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Jones. And I have Ms. Jones as my last case.
That appears to be right, sir.
Okay. All right, Ms. Jones, you may come on up to the podium and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Lisa Jones.
All right. And Ms. Jones, you're here on 23 TK 0735. And just for procedural and record purposes, you were late to court today. I did issue a warrant for you. It's my understanding that you were riding with someone that you were not in control of the vehicle and they got lost or went to the wrong place. Is that correct?
We was in some traffic issues and I'm coming from over 2-hour ride. So.
Okay.
And I also called in to the clerk's office, but yes, to answer your question, I was late.
Okay. And it was the second time that you've been late, so I did have you briefly placed into detention into the jury box until we could sort it out. That's our standard procedure. It wasn't for you specifically. But it looks like you've worked it out. You're out of handcuffs. You're standing here now from the gallery. And is it my understanding that you wish to resolve your case with a plea?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Ms. Jones, as you miss the rights that are read out to the courtroom, I'm going to start with this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver and ask you if you recognize this document that I'm holding up.
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2?
Yes.
And is this your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
Because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we're back on record. There were just 2 lines that had not been initialed, and so we passed it back down to you and not you initialed them. So have you now initialed all the lines on both pages here?
Yes.
Okay. And are there any questions I can answer for you about anything on this document?
No.
Okay. Do you wish to give up your right to a jury trial and close this case with this plea? All right, Ms. Jones, you are 21 years of age or older, is that correct?
Yes.
Have you used a NOLO on a no insurance in the last 5 years?
No.
Are you asking me to accept the NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on February 8th of 2023 and resulted in this charge of operating a motor vehicle with no insurance?
Yes.
Did you also operate your motor vehicle during the same course of events without a proper functional tag light?
No, but I don't know how to answer that when he told me that was his initial cause of stopping the vehicle, but he and I discovered that it was there. So then that's when he started to ask me for the insurance coverage.
Okay. That makes sense. And then, it looks to me like you have your license or your registration fixed, is that correct?
That car, that 2015 SS Camaro has been stolen, and I no longer have that car, so it's gone altogether.
I didn't see that third charge, Judge. Oh,
It's a registration.
yeah, I'll find the third. Hurry wrapping up and.
No, it's okay. All right, so we'll come back on record. There's a third charge. Mr. Shepard's just announced he's going to non-pros that pursuant to plea negotiations. And that was a serious charge. That was a suspended registration charge. So you got that one. That one's gone. You don't have to worry about it. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so, all right, well then I'm just going to do both of these as NOLOs. Ms. Jones, do you want me to accept the tag light as a NOLO plea? Since you don't want to admit to it?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine, I'll do it. Okay. All right, so here we go. Ms. Jones,
Excuse me.
yes.
I'm sorry, the question was that, I know you only get one per year, so.
Well, it's actually a lot more detailed than that. So there's 5 NOLOs, but I can't get into that in the announcements.
No, I just didn't want that one to knock out that lesser charge of a light to knock out the next charge.
Your concern is reasonable. I mean, no, people do not generally use NOLOs on tag lights because they don't get reported in. But if they do, it can make a mess. But you denied it, and I'm trying to move your plea forward. So if you want me to move it over to a guilty plea, and you can just say, actually, we can do it that way. I'll do it as a guilty, as a best interest. And that will fix it. All right, you would like me to accept the terms according to the original way you've negotiated them, is that correct?
Correct.
Then that will work. I'm gonna do it as a best interest play. And that will not mess up your NOLOs, and you're good to go.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, any questions before sentence?
No.
All right, I'm gonna find that you're, with your best interest plea with the NOLO on 1 and the guilty plea on count 2, everything's proper. I'm gonna follow the negotiations other than adding the best interest option, and here we go. Ms. Jones, on 23 TK 0735 from February 8th of 2023, count 1, no insurance, your NOLO is granted. It's 12 months probation, $445 is your fine. Count 2, tag light, guilty, 12 months, $87.50 is your fine. Count 3 is dismissed. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days. You're going to participate in our 30 for 30 program, and you're going to pay $30 as a program fee. If you're able to pay your fine and the $30 in full within the next 30 days, your case will close with no probation. If you're not able to do that, in 31 days from today, your case will automatically transfer over to probation. You'll be required to show a valid license to probation. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products. You'll be tested for those. $50 per month supervision fee, a $25 intake fee, and your case will still close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. If the probation is required, you will be allowed to electronically report to probation. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal it, and 6 months of habeas. Can I answer any questions for you before you and I part ways?
No, sir.
Okay. Then I'm going to hand you off to Ms. Yarborough, and she's going to walk you out and have you go meet with probation. Good luck to you, ma'am. Okay, It's 11:38. That's the last item I have. Does anybody else need me to announce anything? That's what you
Bryant.
record. Oh,
Ms.
yeah.
Bryant,
yeah,
the
yeah.
virtual.
So, Ms. Bryant reported virtually this morning and gave us a number, which I read back to her.
I called that number twice and it says this number, I just.
I emailed her, cause, I had correspondence with her about the court date for today, and I told her that you guys were trying to get in touch with her, and the number she provided is not working.
Okay.
And she said she's been.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I'm like, okay, we're done. So, so she is, well, that's the solution. So I'm gonna just put that Miss Bryant is my volunteer for today. There's always one.
At least we're consistent.
We are very consistent.
The other lady showed up, right?
Yes. Yesterday showed up, played closer case.
She was,
Mangum. But Miss Bryant is officially absent without leave. It's the second time.
And I went and shagged, the last guy Woods on the calendar. I don't know if you know Patrick.
yeah, I appreciate you.
That was nice to hear.
Yeah, he,
I love this county. Okay, then I'm gonna say that LaTanya Bryant is officially absent without leave of the court, and I'm issuing a bench warrant for her arrest. I'm gonna leave the plea paperwork up here in the plea basket if she shows up virtually.